Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to take a closer look at Nvidia Corporation and, more importantly, the secret gold mine that I talked about in the previous episode, and 5 companies that can kind of benefit from this secret gold mine if Jensen is right. And it does seem like most of the time, Jensen is right. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So on Saturday, I did a video on Nvidia where we took a closer look at 11 things that I learned from their GTC Q&A session. And there was a lot of great information. That video did pretty great. So if you haven't watched it, make sure to watch it after this episode. But inside those 11 things, one of them was a secret gold mine that Jensen Huang believes a lot of companies are sitting on right now. And that secret gold mine is what I'm going to explain a little bit today is Copilots. So when we think of Copilots, the first thing we think about is Microsoft Copilots. I think that's the biggest Copilot right now, where you can use Copilots for Office, where if you're developing something on Microsoft Word, on Excel, on PowerPoint presentation, or any of the other Microsoft tool solutions out there that they have, these Copilots can help you improve your workflow, improve your productivity, and come out with a product a lot faster than previously, because Microsoft is the developer of this solution, so they are able to create the perfect assistant thanks to AI. And NVIDIA mentions that this is the secret gold mine because there's a lot of tool companies out there. For example, NVIDIA believes that Cadence, Synopsys, Ansys, they would like to have copilots for all of them. And they want them to build their own copilots, and we're going to explain why in a bit. But NVIDIA is not just a person that talks about it, right? They actually do it. They have created their own copilot called Chip Nemo. And they say that this copilot is super smart, and it now understands NVIDIA's lingo, it understands NVIDIA's chip talk, and it understands how to program NVIDIA's programs. So when a new engineer comes in, and this is what Jensen mentions, I don't know how completely true it is, but it just kind of helps us understand where he sees this copilot in the current space. He says when they hire a new engineer, the first thing they tell him is, look, this is our copilot, Chip Nemo. There's the bathroom and there's the cafeteria. And he does it in that exact order so they can be productive right away. Even if they go to the bathroom, even if they go to eat or have lunch, they're able to use Chip Nemo to be doing some stuff already and make it productive for them. So they believe that this is where a lot of companies that have all these tools, software solutions can build even another form of revenue, and a new form of revenue more added. It's not like it's going to increase their current revenue segment. It's more like creating a new market for them. So they mentioned in areas of these tools, Cadence and others, they can build their own copilots and they will rent them out as or hire them out as engineers. So remember, like Microsoft is the designer and the creator of Word, of all these Office solutions. So if they create a copilot, they can create it perfectly where this system is able to help out any Excel engineer, any PowerPoint presenter to some extent to make the best solution. Now you have these kind of chip design companies like Cadence, like Synopsys, and they have all this data. Obviously, they don't have the proprietary data of how NVIDIA makes their chips, but they do have the data of what to do. They have some template on certain chip manufacturing, on certain chip solutions that are kind of standardized in the world, that now, if you are maybe a chip design company, Cadence might say, hey, look, you have a one engineer. Why don't you, for every engineer, come and rent out one of our copilots, hire one of our copilots, and this one can either be an assistant engineer, an entry-level engineer, maybe as technology improve, maybe even be more of a full-time engineer for your company. And this can obviously help improve your chip making solution. Another thing is with these copilots is maybe, let's say NVIDIA uses Cadence. Maybe there's going to be a proprietary way, in a safe way, to include NVIDIA solutions in there so that Copilot will be perfect for designing Nvidia chips, and so on and so forth. So Copilot is a huge, huge market opportunity. Before we go any further, I just want to say thank you all for the amazing support we are getting in this channel. We're closing into 40,000 subs. That is insane. So if you haven't and you are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Finally, if you want to support this channel a little bit more, check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. Now back to today's episode. Jensen also talked about other companies. For example, SAP. SAP is a huge, I believe, ERP company out in the world right now. And they're understanding, and the language that SAP does is ABAP. I'm not too familiar with this, but ABAP is a very important language for the world's ERP system. So every company runs it. So we use ABAP, and now you can kind of go create SAP can go create this chat ABAP, and very similar to Chip Nemo, where companies can use it to create and hire their own kind of ERP software design to some extent. There's a lot of companies out there that are going to be helping in creating copilots for a lot of companies. So at the end of the day, Jensen believes that this is almost like an AI workforce industry. So he's super excited about the partnerships we have with all of them, and he's so excited for them because every time he sees they're sitting on a gold mine. And this is, like I mentioned, not gonna hurt their overall revenue at the moment. It's creating a new revenue segment. So for example, Synopsys and Cadence, they will have a new revenue segments of maybe digital AI chip developers. Maybe some of the other companies we're going to see are going to have AI chip designers to some extent. So this is pretty interesting, and we're going to have to take a closer look at how large language models continue to evolve in the next few years. So now I want to take a closer look at 5 companies that can be impacted with this. So the first company, the first two we're going to see are ones that Jensen mentioned. The first one is Synopsys, and this is one that is the technology behind 90% of FinFET designs. So obviously they have a lot of data, not proprietary data from the companies that develop, but a lot of standardized data, a lot of open source data on the way chips are designed that they can use to kind of create those open AI solutions. Another secret gold mine here, number 2, I personally believe is Unity. So Unity is one of the biggest game maker engines for game creations. So in the future, if they follow in the same suit of AI, Unity can say, hey, look, you're a game developer company. Here is a AI engineer, AI game designer that can help with certain aspects. And in game creation, there's so many things. There's coding, there's probably artistics, there's animation, there's lighting, VFX, and the list goes on and on. So this is not only for the gaming, but different types of industries that can obviously impact and kind of get a nice amount of growth from these types of solutions, and could be a nice other avenue for Unity. Autodesk is another big player, right? Autodesk is used to kind of do architecture, construction, and engineering for product design, manufacturing, media, and entertainment. They have a lot of data, not proprietary data, but again, these are the people that design these systems. These are the people that create the manual. These are the companies that have a lot of the standardized platforms for a lot of their solutions. So they can definitely create co-pilots that, at least to some extent, may be an assistant engineer, an assistant designer, and that can be a very cool kind of rent out system and a new revenue segment for them. Company number 4 is one we talked about, Cadence, which deals with chip design. And company number 5 is SAP, which we just talked about due to their overall ERP solutions and the special coding language that is used to create ERP software. SAP can definitely benefit from that market as well. Now, before I close out the episode, I just want to take a closer look at forward PE ratios and forward price to sales ratio. We can see on the forward PE ratio, which is the end of this fiscal year, the cheapest is Autodesk. So Autodesk, SAP, and Unity are all below 40 PE ratio. If we look forward 1 year, those 3 companies are also below 30 forward 1 year fiscal year. So I personally believe these are the 3 players, at least in this space, that should definitely have an eye open, or people should keep a closer eye on, because they have this growth opportunity in the future. Now, it might seem far-fetched and it might not happen, but if it does happen, we can see kind of these PE ratios decrease dramatically. We can also see a nice boost of revenue, and these kind of segments might be ones with high margins. So we can see an overall nice price opportunity if we believe this is a great market. Now, if we look at price to sales ratio, we can see the same three companies that I mentioned have a price sales ratio below 10. That's Autodesk, SAP, and Unity. And if we take a closer look at forward 1 year, very similar again, those are sitting below 9 at the moment. So these are definitely, I'm a proud holder of Unity, even though it gets so much hate. Autodesk might be one that I take a closer look at in the future. If I start to see this market evolve into that space and I see Autodesk transform into that space a little bit closer, Synopsys and Cadence, they are trading at a higher valuation, but normally this is their style, right? This is what you normally see with Synopsys and Cadence. So it's ones that I don't own, but I tend to own other semiconductor companies. Now, if I ever wanted to expand into other markets, maybe Unity, SAP, like I mentioned, SAP and Autodesk might be ones I want to take a closer look at. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.